And welcome back to the start of a brand new Dragon Ball Z What If. Unfortunately, I forgot to write down the name of the person who suggested this one, but I'll put that in the comments, the description box. But this is, what if Goku had the boosted gear from DxD Highschool? Now, I've never actually watched DxD. I'm aware of it, but I never watched it. So I know, I know it involves a lot of topless scenes. Someone says, I see you're a man of culture. When I put that suggestion in there. But no, but the boosted gear is an item. It's basically the lore of the boosted gear is as such that back in the day, in the past, a dragon known as Dirag fought against his arch rival, the vanishing dragon Albion. And the battle that was interrupted by the angels, devils, and fallen angels, and they were so angry that they attacked the leaders. They were destroyed, their souls sealed in two separate sacred gears. One, the boosted gear, and then a different gear altogether. The boosted gear is a very powerful item. It's whenever the host of a boosted gear dies, a fragment of their consciousness is stored inside the boosted gear, while normally only waking up during the activation of the Juggernaut drive. We'll get to that in just a second. It's revealed that the past possessors of divine dividing was stored within the boosted gear as well. And basically, they sacrificed themselves to save from a curse of some kind. More to the point, there was a replica made of it, so forth and so on, doesn't matter. At one point, he unlocked one of the original powers called Penetrate, which allows him to bypass defensive powers. Which, I'm going to tell you right now, in Dragon Ball Z terms, that except for maybe like Bobity's barrier or any sort of barrier attack, like maybe Android 17's barrier, that's not really going to mean much in a Dragon Ball Z, because defensive abilities means what? Magical, or you just blocking and I'm just like, haha, bad blaster arm? No, so yeah, defensive abilities aren't going to really matter that much in that case. But he also uses, he used the chant that he and a character created, alternating lines that allows him to temporarily borrow power over his power of infinity. Okay, that doesn't mean anything in this either. As a result of taking a miracle drug, okay, that's not going to matter. He managed to unlock a new form, Apocalypse Answer Arms, by combining with his familiar. Okay, that won't matter here. And he was able to unlock the dormant Great Red power in his body and achieve true Dabba's Dragon. Okay, so honestly, most of these attacks most of these abilities aren't going to really matter at all. But basically, what does the boosted gear actually do? That's the important thing here. What the boosted gear does is it's simplistic, but very powerful. It's a red gauntlet housing the Red Dragon Emperor, which allows the users to double their power every 10 seconds without limit until the user reaches their current limit, whether it's their physical abilities, magic, demonic power-based user, or so forth. It has been described as allowing the user to surpass the powers of the gods, four great Satans, for a temporary amount of time. In response to the user's feelings, the boosted gear can transform to its final stage, letting the user transfer their increased power to other people or items, increasing their capabilities. The transferred power can even be performed on multiple targets at the same time. It can also determine the opponent's power level and inform whenever the boosted power reaches a sufficient level to defeat the opponent. Very, very key there. It's proven to be able to store either weapons or items, not that it would matter Goku, except for maybe his power pole he could store in there. After venturing into the boosted gear, he unlocked one of the original powers. Doesn't matter, he'd have to actually venture into it. And he did unlock one finishing move called Blazing Inferno Scorching Flames, which allows him to burn even gods to ashes to the point of their souls being burned too. I imagine that the ways of unlocking it are inaccessible to Goku in this. So what we're left with is, and by the way, this does have a weakness that gives you all the weaknesses of a dragon, which Goku can still have. But those weaknesses are, the common dragons are dragon slaying magic, swords, curses, and as if they were dragons themselves. Great. There's also the issue that it drains the user's stamina, burning their body far more than the sacred gears. Than other sacred gears. If the user reaches their limit, the boosted gear will enter the burst state, signifying their limit, where the user will have to exceed their physical limit. So basically, what we have here is, in essence, a continuing multiplier of Kaioken, technically, on the user's body until the user's limit is reached, and then they have to extend the limit. In Dragon Ball terminology, anyway. And continuing double of Kaioken, then another double, then another double, then another double. It's exponential, kind of. Linear, but exponential. So the question came to me, how do I make this work in a Dragon Ball Z world? Well, I think the best way to do this is we do have to alter it slightly. I think we can still say that it was created from a dragon. We can say it was created from an alien dragon, because what I think we can do with this is basically say that, yes, Bardock was kind of a scientist still, at least that's the way they put him, implied him anyway. Great warrior, but apparently a scientist. So maybe he was working on creating this after defeating the dragon on whatever planet he defeated on, and before he left Goku, he gave them this weapon and basically attached it to Goku's arm. Now it was probably a little big for him, probably looked a little bit like Hellboy, to be honest. He's like, nah. But I could see it maybe just growing with him, maybe just uniforms to the sides of his arm, and I could see it kind of being like fused to his arm, like this, like it's something that is not capable of being removed naturally. You can't just take it off like a glove. And so Goku is sent to Earth with this. Now, I'm going to be straight out honest. Because we know Goku hit his head, he'll probably not even know what this thing is. While there are former users of the gear in there, theoretically, that could maybe try to speak and communicate with Goku, in the way we've set this up, that doesn't exist here. It still has all the benefits that the gear provides, but I think the only times Goku would activate it is on an instinctual basis starting out with. Bulma, I mean, when he first meets Bulma would ask what's with his arms. Like, I don't know. It's kind of always been like this. And she's like, oh, it's both techno and organic. This is interesting. I think Bulma would like to try to study it at some point, if she ever gets a chance. But unless Goku's actually at Capsule Corp, that's never going to happen. But as I said, I think what you'll see here is temporary boosts every now and then. However, the difference here, unlike would say like DxD Highschool, is Saiyan physiology. The fact that Saiyans are so capable of surpassing their limits and just keep going and going and going, that it's very hard to gauge where just like young Goku's limit would actually be naturally, versus where we know limitations kind of are through the roof after a while. Like if we gave Goku just this at the end of Dragon Ball Super, most like say just the manga where he has Master Ultra Instinct in his arrival to Beerus and just gave him this thing, well then he'd easily surpass Beerus in a heartbeat. Hell, if you gave Beerus this, he could literally become the strongest god of destruction. But there is a cap to the limitations these characters have, because we've seen with like for instance with Goku in the Saiyan arc, Kaioken acts similar to this, where it's an exponential multiplier, and it's every 10, well, it's not every 10 seconds, it's like continually putting a strain on his body no matter what, whereas the increase with Goku would be permanent until he hits his limit with the boosted gear here. And we saw in the Saiyan Saga how just 4 times his base was murder on his body. His body was near breaking down. That was he was damn near his limit. And then with Broly had so much power that he literally had to expel it out of his body or he would actually blow up. So it's clear these characters do have physical limits that they hit, and it's up to them to be able to surpass their limits. But because these are Saiyans, they do have the benefit of a zenkai, which means Goku gonna get hell strong in this series. Is he gonna get god level strong? Like by Saiyan Saga, not God, no, he's not going to get that strong. But let's actually go over it. Honestly, nothing really would change up until maybe you get to the end of the first Budokai tournament. I think that's where you might start to see some changes. And maybe it's just out of and Goku's probably activated his boost gear before on Instinct several times, but it's never just made his new base the limit. It's put strain on his body, and so he's gotten minor Zenkais. And I think that's what would happen here. After Roshi has to basically take out the moon, Goku gets clothes on. They're both worn out. Boost gear activated, so Goku is starting to overwhelm Roshi, and he's overwhelming him quick. But Roshi, being the smart fighter he is, can tell it's straining Goku even harder. Like, it's draining his stamina even farther. So while Goku's power is climbing exponentially, it is just like crazy getting high. He's not Goku eventually just caps off. Honestly, this version of Goku probably wouldn't cap off for more than like 1,000, I think. No joke. I think like base Goku, as we saw him there, with no extra training, probably could only get to like 1,000 on his own at his best, because he still was just a kid, and he was still basically, as Vegeta would put it, lower class Saiyan. While his potential was great, his body could only handle so much at that time. And while he would be overwhelming Roshi at that point, he was also be completely I think what would actually happen here really is that Roshi just starts dodging and doing his best. He'd probably be taking hits, but he keeps dodging, and eventually Goku the boost gear just fizzles out, and he just goes tired and bleh. And that's basically how that ends. So Goku it would still end. Goku gets his reward, gets to eat all the food, and then Goku goes on and search for the Dragon Balls. Now, Goku's power level is actually very important at this time, because I think his power, when we get near the end of he's not much stronger here than he is in the original, but he's a little thanks to these Zenkais he's been getting from this. He ultimately does still go to train with Korn, because I think Tao Pai Pai beats him long before the boosted gear activates. And so he trains with Korn, gets the boost, beats Tao Pai Pai, and this puts him at... And Korn, but I would probably be like, that's an interesting little piece of glove you have there, kid. This is just my hand. I mean, I've never really understood. There's something about it. Maybe I'll have to bring it up to Kami. What? Oh, nothing, kid. Just do what you're doing. And so Goku beats Tao Pai Pai, and then the next tournament comes. Goku's power would be around 200 right now. It's not much difference, but it's a key difference, because this puts him above Tien in terms of power. And then when they get to their final, bout in the air, or, the Kamehameha, all that, Goku using boosted, probably would the boost gear activates again, just on instant that Goku wants to win, his desire to win activates it, and he just, using the Kamehameha, just blasts back even harder, and so the momentum actually smashes Tien harder and faster, so he hits the ground first, because Goku would have won that had that truck not come by. And so Goku actually is the winner of the 24th or 23rd, second, I can't remember, 22nd, I think, 22nd Budokai. Now, does this change much? Not really, but Goku, because at this point Goku knows what defeat feels like, so he doesn't get that big head on him, and he's like, I won, yeah, oh god. So he gets money, doesn't know what to do with money, so they, I was like, you want to go eat? We'll go eat. And so they go to eat, and he's like, all right, this is going to be awesome. Wait, where's Krillin? I'll go find him. Then he finds Krillin, and everyone's eating. Then he goes off to fight Drum. Unfortunately, he's hungry, and his boost gear probably doesn't activate at this time, so he gets his ass kicked again. Likewise with King Piccolo, even though he's pretty powerful, Piccolo, I think, still beats him. The reason I say this is because the boost gear, I think, activates to Goku's instinct. Right now, he doesn't know how to consciously activate it. He won't know how to consciously activate it for a little while longer. So King Piccolo does initially beat him, but Goku and Yajirobe both go see Korn, get the Ultra Divine Water. Goku comes back. He has got a power of around 300, so he is more powerful than King Piccolo, and that ultimately does use the boosted gear to beat King Piccolo. I think it's that desire to just take vengeance, beat him, all of that, and just end it. I think that's ultimately activates the boost gear again. And so he completely just trounces Piccolo. He spits out the egg. All's well that ends well. And Goku still has money. So what I think might be a fun thing to see happen is some of his friends actually take the winnings, open up an account for him, and he's actually got an account sitting collecting interest somewhere. Now, you might be saying, well, nothing's really changed. And you're right, nothing's really changed because of the nature of the boosted gear right now versus Goku not even realizing what he's got. But things do change when he is asked to go meet Kami. So he goes to meet Kami, attacks Kami. Kami still blasts him back. And ultimately they explain the scenario in that, yes, I'm Kami, and yes, King Piccolo is still alive because I'm still alive. Da, 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 da. And so he trains with Kami, on the lookout for them, was it 3 years, 5 years? Either way, he trains with Kami. And this is where Kami, being an alien himself, looks and feels like, interesting. It's like, the Goku, that device on your arm. I mean, that's my arm. I mean, is it now? It does seem to be fused. It's over this time that they do ultimately figure out what this is, or at least what it does, how Goku can actually access it, how he's able to just think about it as like, and how he's able to actually, when it finally realizes what it's doing, he's able to not just sense a power, but actually get an idea of the level of exact level. He can basically, it's a scouter. It's got a built-in scouter in it. And so Goku, now knowing what this does, for the next 3 years trains with this. And he's pushing himself to his actual limits. So when he shows up later down the road, or really down the road for the next tournament, he is the champion, obviously. And his power is exponentially higher than what we get in the original series. He was already at 300, which was higher here than it was then. But beyond that, he would now, I think he'd have at least double the power comparatively, which would put him at 600. Piccolo Jr. shows up, so does Shin. And all the fights go about the same, except Piccolo actually just gets his ass firmly kicked in this version versus the previous one. And Goku stops Kami from killing him. It says he'll be able to handle it. Goku still goes off and marries Chi-Chi. All's well that ends well, or does it? Because you go into Dragon Ball Z, and 5 years training with the boosted gear, boosting himself to his limit, training with that, getting Zenkais from that. What does that do to a man? Well, first off, Piccolo has been training extra hard based on the ass kicking he got, and he managed to get himself, I think, all the way up to 700, which would be great. Even Tien might be a little stronger because of how Goku is able to just progress. But Goku's been training with this, in an actual fight, because he loves a good fight, he will only use this as a last resort because he doesn't want to be able to just beat an opponent that easily if he can get a good fight out of it. It's kind of Kenpachi-like. It's like, I'm not going to use my full power unless I have to. Because he's still an honorable warrior, ultimately. In fact, I think sometimes he's found, fights are boring because, there's no one really strong enough out there to challenge me right now, which sucks for Goku. It does, but at least he's still able to literally push himself to his limit because he actually has a device that can do that. So 5 years? No, because 1 year on training on King Kai's planet gave him a times 20 boost. Now, granted, he had the advantage of 10 times gravity, but he's got the advantage of just pushing his body to its limit multiple times whenever he wants to and getting Zenkais from it. So 600, no joke. I think a 50 times multiplier over 5 years is more than reasonable, which puts him at 30. Now, what does that put him in terms of his his maximum boost gear? It's hard to say, really, with Saiyans. I will say this. 30 grand, Goku couldn't even handle times 4 Kaioken without immense pain at 8 grand. But it's implied he could probably do the 20 times Kaioken at when he the 20 times Kaioken around when he got back from Namek. He's not quite as strong here, but I still think he could probably handle something in that range. I put him just under 1 million, so around 960,000 if he were to be boosted gear. Meanwhile, he's been living on his own. They have Gohan, hooray. But they go and they go to Kame's house and, say, hey, everybody, how you doing? Hey, Goku, Goku. And obviously Raditz shows up, wondering what the hell Kakarot's been doing this whole time. And Piccolo meets up with him there, and Raditz is actually impressed by his power. This Piccolo's like at least almost twice as strong as he is when he meets Raditz initially, and he couldn't even put a scratch on him. Here, he's actually almost half as strong as Raditz. Raditz full power. Raditz right now is suppressed at probably around 1,200. So Raditz at least is interacting with the Namekian. Tell me, Namekian, are you the strongest one on this planet? Say, here, what's it to you? I'm looking for someone. A Saiyan man. He had a tail, black hair, perhaps. Wait, and Piccolo, and I can't remember exactly how the line dialogue went, but Piccolo just honestly just straight out attacks him because he can sense how powerful he is. Just straight out attacks him, and Raditz, I don't think is going to just take it like he did in the original, just like glance off him. He does go, all right then, perhaps let's do something, let's try something, and then, oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Yes, it does. Let's say, wait a minute. So, there it is. I had my scatter there. So he says, wait, is that can't be. That must be Kakarot, but his power, it eclipses Vegeta's. Now, granted, we know that the scouter kind of broke around 21,000, but I think it's because Goku was raising his power level so quickly. Here, Goku's base is just that strong. So it's not powering up or anything like that. So Raditz just flies over there. Eventually, Goku does sense it, and it's the strongest power he's sensed on the planet ever. It's nothing compared to his right now, but it is impressive comparatively. So it's like, wait, what's that? Is it, well, wait, Goku, you can sense that? Yeah, what is that? I finally found you, Kakarot. What are you doing with these people? You're supposed to get the planet ready for Lord Frieza. It's like, what? Who are you? It's like, did you hit your head or something? I am your brother, Raditz. Wait, I have a brother? What's going on here? And he explains that you are a member of the proud Saiyan race, Kakarot. There are a few of us left. Though, and we work for a broker of worlds, Lord Frieza. And you were sent here to wipe the dominant population off the planet so we could collect it and sell it to the highest bidder. Why would I want to do that? That sounds horrible. Don't you understand, Kakarot? This is what we do. Now, look, as your brother, I'm willing to give you a chance to kill 100 humans, and then everything will be forgiven. I'm not going to kill 100 humans. Forget that. It's like, and Raditz, even though he remembered scanning Goku's power level, is kind of forgetting that right now because he's just flabbergasted that Goku is just so different than what a Saiyan should be. So, well then, look, Goku, let me handle this. And then he just reads Krillin's power levels. Attacks goes to Krillin, if you want, I'm going to give you an ultimatum, Kakarot, to kill those people and prove your loyalty, or you'll never see your son again. He goes for going, but Goku just grabs it, and just picks him up in the air. Just, He's like, don't you dare. I don't care if you are my brother. I don't know you. To me, you're nothing more than a stranger. An alien stranger who's causing trouble and hurting my friends. If you really want to fight, then so be it. And he powers up. It's like, that's right. Now, to be fair, Goku's power probably actually didn't read as 30,000, now that I'm saying it out loud, because of his weighted clothes and just natural training with suppressing your energy. Maybe it came off as his 5,000 or something like that. But still, stronger than Raditz, but Raditz still thought maybe he could persuade him. But overall, Goku powers up and just, this time, like a scouter brace. It's like, I'm going to give you one chance, Raditz. Get out of here. Get out of here now. How you want to destroy Kakarot? I don't know. Yeah, because of this. Wait, I remember that father was working on it. Wait, so he got the boosted gear to work. So wait, our father made this? Yes, he made it thinking it would be a boon to you. You could be the greatest warrior among us Saiyans and avenge us upon our death. But he died he died when our planet was destroyed. But maybe there is hope. After all, look, Kakarot, I know I've said things. Give me a second here. I know wanted you to give, but if there's a way for us to have a peace between us. There's a way we could cooperate together. We could take back our world. We take back our race. Take back our freedom. We can be rid of this tyrant, Kakarot. I'm sure even Nappa and Vegeta would be more than willing to participate in this. And Goku's just thinking on it, he doesn't power down, but he's not as just ready to strike. It's like, I'm going to give you one chance, Raditz. If you want to bring them here, that's fine. But But if they try, but I'm not going to stop my training. I'm going to be sure that if you guys try anything, I will be ready. He just cracks it, and it glows because Goku can see just how strong he is compared to Raditz. Like he just dwarfs Raditz. It's like no, I understand. Unfortunately, I cannot communicate with them without my scout. So I'll lock into onto their coordinates and I'll go meet them and talk to them about this. It's like, and it's fine, get out of here. And so it's Raditz. Hightails out, gets out of there. It's like, well, wait, Goku, are you sure? Sure, but yeah, sorry about this, guys. Sorry about this going, but looks like we're gonna have to cut this short. And so Raditz goes, finds Nappa and Vegeta, explains what happened. They laugh their ass off at it. You lost to your low-class little brother. That's adorable. Wait, you're saying you're stronger than you? Are you implying you're stronger than Nappa? He was way beyond Nappa. Are you implying he's stronger than me? Yes, unfortunately, and I think Vegeta just... Watch your tongue, Raditz. Why don't we go and pay over a visit then, shall we? No, you don't understand. He could help us. We could be rid of Frieza. And so, yeah, there you go. And Goku, for a year, trains with the boost gear again, getting his base now all the way up. No joke. I think it'd be at least 300k is doable at this time. Again, 1 year way Zenkai and the boost gear works. 300 for his base, breaking to his limit every time, just continue getting stronger. Nowhere near out of the realm of possibility. But I'd imagine his boosted bonus would be somewhere in the 67 million or 76 million range. The problem is when you get to these kind of numbers, at ×2 multiplier doesn't always work the same way. Like if this was like 500, half a million, the ×2 multiplier would be easy. But unfortunately, when you do it in different intervals, it gets a little more tricky. Either way, though. So eventually, Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta show up. Go meet with Goku. And they just laugh. I was like, you're the little brother of Raditz. You're the one who thinks he's stronger than me, who can kill Frieza finally. I don't think anything of it. But I know... the only thing I don't think, Vegeta, I don't think I know anything about this Frieza. But what I do know, and he does use the boosted gear to kind of just pick up, is that I am stronger than you. And is that a fact? Well, why don't you prove it then, Kakarot? If you can prove you're stronger than us, then maybe we'll hear you out. And so Goku just gets in the fighting stance, and Nappa comes, and Goku just immediately just wrecks his shop. I see, so you really think you're so strong. Well, try then, Goku. He just tries, and Goku just... For him, Vegeta's basically just moving in slow motion. Jab it! This really can't be all you have, Vegeta. I'll show you! And he powers onto his full 18,000. And just... It's like, guns, boom, boom, boom. It's basically what happened like when Goku fought Bear, just do. And then finally Goku just puts him in the ground. Said, I swear I'll kill you, Kakarot! And just throws up the music. Vegeta, just shut up, what up? I'm going to kill you, Kakarot! And then Goku can see he turns into the 8. Still doesn't even need to activate boost gear. He's still over 120 grand high, stronger than him. But now he actually does have to avoid just... But ultimately just got shot, temple shot, eye shot, not shot, and just finally just rips the tail off. And Goku, who's finally had at least a semi-decent fight in all this time, just goes, are we done now? This would be something very unique for Goku in the case where it's kind of a Saitama situation. Because he keeps training on to push himself, he never stays a consistent amount of strength where the next opponent, at least right now, would be something that would overly challenge him. And so he's just kind of bored a lot of the time when it comes to the fighting. Not to say he still doesn't get some enjoyment out of it, especially with like Vegeta actually being able to push him a little bit for a change. Like it's the first time someone's been able to, ever since like his early days in the tournaments, someone's been actually able to push him a bit, but not anything to a point where you even had to activate his boost gear. So yeah, ultimately they're just now what exactly, and he looks at his brother, so what exactly is you want me to do? And so that's where part 1 of what if Goku had boosted gear ends. Sorry, that's where part 1 ends today. Let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you next time.